I think Soundarajan Saab and Sridhar Saab mentioned that. And I must tell you that these are not things which are rocket science. You get GM into the country, you will have a 20% productivity growth in the same land for next 10 years, and it will take care of rest. Because people in other countries have really done that. So my sense is that I'll probably come back to something different because most of the people have discussed and told about their sector. My sense is that one of the things which we have to do, we are not a small sector, we are a 10 lakh crore sector. At nominal prices, if agri GDP people say is 30 lakh, 32 lakh crores. So we are not small sector, we generate a lot of employment. And government after dodging for 2-3 years also realized that the income cannot double without this sector. Because we provide, in the agri sector, people get paid twice. In our sector, the cash flow for the farmer is forever. So I'm saying that, and we don't use very fertile lands also. You can have poultry farms on rocky lands. So there is so much of wasteland which can be used. Having said that, I think we suffer from an image issue. Now, nobody talks in this country about nutritional security. We talk about food security. Now, you talk nutritional security, we will come on the center stage. Because without protein, where is nutritional security? That is point number one. Point number two is that this industry is the most fragmented industry in terms of intellect. And I must tell you that every time there is a problem, all of us will get together and we will lose 20,000 crore rupees in one shot. But we will not collect 100 crore rupees per annum to change the image of this industry. And the worst part of the story is that we start talking about good of chicken when it is down. So I'm saying that he talked about something fishy. We chicken out every time we are needed. So in parlance, so I think that image makeover is very, very important. And the other things I feel is that a little bit of, he talked about the problems of dairy sector. And now we bought a dairy company in Hyderabad and we are suffering it for last 4 years. And I must tell you that till the government protects the cooperative and intervenes every time when there is that obsession is there that nothing should go wrong. We will always continue to have 300, 400 crore animals for whatever we need. Numbers will produce, efficiency will not grow. So I'm saying that my suggestion, Sridhar Saab and others can take it in that monetization of national assets. The dairy companies should also be sold. And they should also be privatized and they should feel the heat as private sector. In whichever sector the private has to compete with government, private cannot win because public money is too big for private money to compete with. Look at petroleum. With such a fanfare, so many private companies came and even the richest companies vanished from petroleum sector. So I think this kind of a support from dairies, I think is unfair and it is generating a lot of inefficiency. I am very, very optimistic on aqua and poultry. Sir, I must also tell you that this is the best decision probably, you were the architect of it, that separate ministry. And that has brought in so much of focus because you talked about getting more focus because I used to meet Sridhar Saab earlier also. In came Animal Husbandry Development Fund. In came Fisheries Fund. In came everything online and everything has become so easy to work with in the ministry. I'm saying, sir, I am telling you as a student of this game, I would have never imagined that we will be able to import GM soya meal in this country. You remember, sir, we had talked about it and you said nothing will go through GEAC. GEAC would prevent everything, including our application for DDGS for such a long time. We have a foot in the door. We can get anything done from the government in case our presentation and data is perfect. We should be the repository of all knowledge and information. If we are not, you will have that AP Act, which will talk about crude protein, which is 40-year technology, as Mr. Rao said yesterday. So I'm saying that our job is to present our case in a good manner with a lot of data, scientific knowledge to the government as one. That's what Bahadur Bhai said, that we are fragmented. The second thing is that I strongly agree and I am always a votary of not asking government for subsidies, etc. Because that switches off the government in no time. Because there are competing demands and our country is a poor country. It is not that it has got unlimited resources to be thrown everywhere. And now you have extra funds needed for vaccination, this, that, and also I'm saying that we are capable of taking care of things. The industry is profitable. Most of the companies are rich enough and getting consolidated and becoming bigger that we can generate financial resources. But I think the ultimate thing is that the onus lies on us. How we present the case, how we work with the government in shaping the policy, both at center and state level. And I think let us stop looking at others, let us look at ourselves as an industry and try and improve things. So about 5 years ago, about 7-8 years ago, we started going to Israel to see technology, etc. And about 6 years ago, we saw and met one company called Maximilk. And they were doing embryo transfer technology in Israel. And we also saw animals which were giving 13,000 liters per lactation cycle. And these animals, and you know, there is a, as you rightly said, sir, there is a central database in Israel where every data of every milking animal is monitored. And they know which animal has given, and you'll be really surprised that all the milk requirement of Israel is taken care of by 25,000 milking animals. So this is the kind of productivity which they have. So we invited this couple who owned this company, Maximilk. Now, why did they come to India? Now, once the genetics is high, already, the mother is already very good, then you need the sex semen of a father, and your job is done. You artificially inseminate and you'll get that. But the issue is that embryo transfer gives you an opportunity of surrogacy, so that in what you achieve in 10 years, you can achieve in one generation. So we invited and we put our best people, actually, one of them is here, along with these Israelis, and we said that we don't mind investing, but we need to succeed. Why should only Amir Khan and Shah Rukh Khan have test tube babies? We can also try something with our cattle. And I'm very glad to say this is the 5th year of the project. We are producing about 100 heifers every month in Nasik. Anybody who wants to see, I would like to invite them. We have about 1,300 animals at that farm and we are expanding. Some of our best animals, which are classified A grade, are likely to cross 11,000 liters per lactation cycle. We don't have any animal in the farm which is less than 7,000. And we are retiring those animals and upgrading that thing. And probably next year, FY23 onwards, we'll be producing about 1,200 to 1,500 heifers. We will upgrade the capacity to 1,000 embryos per month in that lab. Of course, the Israelis have gone and now we have indigenized the whole thing. They have trained our people. We acknowledge and express our gratitude to their 4 years they spent in a place called Nasik. That was their love for animal agriculture which brought them here. And I think they have given us, and now we are in talks in final stages of selling huge quantities of embryos to NDDB. And I think that is the way forward. And that can take care of it. It takes care of productivity. The mother gives 1,500 liters, the daughter will give 11,000 liters because the genetics is totally different. The offspring is good, has good immunity because I am told by doctors that immunity comes from placenta, which is the local mother. The other great thing is that once you have such an animal, then you artificially inseminate with your imported sex semen, you can do it yourself. So I think it is going to be a game changer. We are still small and the task is very high. But the great thing about our sector is that we can grow exponentially. Okay. Because now we sell heifers, and our heifers, there is only one product in my division which has 50% PBT margin, and there is a queue for it. Otherwise, everywhere it is low margin and then I have to go and beg to sell. So this is, wherever we have deployed, I think within 10 days or 12 days, all animals have crossed between 40 to 50 liters. There are animals who have done 63 liters also. Their udders touch the ground. That is the kind of animals we are producing. So I'm saying that these opportunities are there. You need patience and investment. We are a rich company, so we could wait for 5, 6, 7 years to see cash flow. We have already invested more than 60 crore rupees, 70 crore rupees in infrastructure and losses. But thing is that these are the things which are generational things. Yeah. So I'm saying that it is not that other people cannot do. I think this can be replicated at 20 places at the same time. But point is, you need perseverance, then you need regulatory support also, then you need some kind of a passion also to do that. And there are a lot of passionate people in this industry. That's why we are 10 lakh crore. Otherwise, we wouldn't. Okay. His super boss was the most passionate guy, Dr. Kurian. I'm saying that it is possible to do everything. 99% of Venami is exported. It is not our native animal also. Our farmers have succeeded there.
Very interesting, Rahul.
So I'm saying that, look, I think what Sridhar Saab said, regulatory environment and policy framework, and then enterprise of people will take care. We are a poor country. All of us sitting on the dais and there, in our youth and childhood, we have fought with our back towards the walls to be on this dais.
Thanks.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And every Indian can do that. The next generations will do that, and the next generations will do that. Farmer is so marginal that he'll fight to the finish.